It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another video for the Walking Dead universe. In this video, we're going to be talking about the possibility of new spin-offs in the Walking Dead universe, and I'm going to talk about characters who I think are potentially going to get a spin-off of their own, much like characters like Daryl, Maggie and Negan, and Rick and Michonne have already got a spin-off of their own. And obviously it's not a spoiler who I think these characters are because they are on the thumbnail. So we're going to talk about how Gabriel, Ezekiel, and Aaron will potentially get spin-offs of their own and what those spin-offs could be about. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break this down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right into it. So of course, there was some news recently about new spin-offs being planned for the future for The Walking Dead, which is definitely not a surprise. We knew that there's going to be tons of new spin-offs coming. And of course, from a personal experience, after a chat with one of the actors on the show, I know one of these spin-offs, but I'm not going to really dive into it here because it's not 100%. But we obviously knew that there's going to be new spin-offs coming. Now it's just a matter of who deserves a spin-off and whose story needs a spin-off. And for the most part, I think these are the primary three characters that will at some point get a spin-off because they are big enough characters that deserve a spin-off going forward. And in a way, these are the key characters other than the characters that have already got a spin-off of their own. And I forgot to mention Carol earlier, but she obviously will be in the Daryl spin-off as well. So starting off with King Ezekiel, I think it's just really obvious that this character is going to have a story going forward. And the reason for that is because his story is directly linked with the Commonwealth story, which is the central story of the Walking Dead universe right now, other than the CRM storyline, which is connected to Rick Grimes. We know that at the end of the Walking Dead series, Ezekiel became the leader of the Commonwealth, or the governor of the Commonwealth. Much like in the comics, it was Maggie. So, of course, going forward, we're gonna revisit the Commonwealth, and as part of that, we're undoubtedly going to see King Ezekiel again. And it just makes sense that there will be a spin-off later on, maybe a couple years from now, where we will see a King Ezekiel centric spin-off about the Commonwealth and what the Commonwealth is doing now. Who knows? This might be the spin-off that leads to the great war between the Commonwealth and the CRM, which many fans expect to see at some point in the future. Next up, we have Father Gabriel. Father Gabriel is one of those characters who has had the biggest transition on the show, and I think it's a no-brainer that this character, with how badass he turned out to be later on in the show, will get a spin-off at some point in the future. As far as what that could be about, it could be about him going on a mission to find new survivors or possibly connect with other communities or network of communities. Speaking of network of communities, who better to join Gabriel on that spin-off than Aaron? We've seen the two together tons of times, and their stories are really intertwined because of the amount of story that they had together and the development that they received together as part of the main show. And just going back to the network of communities discussion, we know that Aaron is a recruiter for the Commonwealth. So it just makes sense for Gabriel and Aaron to have a spin-off where they're trying to expand the Commonwealth network and communicate and find other survivors that are out there. So I think this is the other more obvious spin-offs that we're probably going to see in the future. Now, I'm not saying no other characters are going to join these characters in these spin-offs. I'm just saying that these will be the primary characters or the lead characters for the new spin-offs that we're gonna see. We're probably gonna see other characters like Jerry, Lydia, and maybe people from Magnus Group as part of these spin-offs, but Aaron, Gabriel, and Ezekiel are probably gonna be the key characters of these shows, or the stars of these shows, if you want to put it that way. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through in this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.